What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a great day. So I can't believe it, but it has actually been 6 months already with the Magnuson Supercharger. Today we will talk about those first 6 months. The good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So stay tuned.
Switch your lanes! Supercharge! Activate!
So throughout the 6-month ownership period, kind of what I do when I do interval testing on everything, I write notes in my phone as I go along the way with it with a product. So they're not going to necessarily be in order, but before we actually get to the stuff on here, I just want to tell everyone, in case you didn't know, I got the Magnuson Supercharger that came with the Bully Dog tuner from Sparks Parts. Now, I talk about the promo code with you guys every single day because I want you to save money. But the best way to save money on a supercharger is to go through Sparks with the Tundra 234 promo code, because that is where the 5% discount is going to save you a lot of money. It'll save you about $400. So that is way better than you're going to get anywhere else, I think. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, right under me in this video, and if I can't help you, the boys at Sparks can. sales@sparksparts.com is their email address. They want you to be happy with your purchase. This is not a small purchase. It's not cheap. So everyone's very hesitant about it. I always tell people that the Supercharger to me is very taboo. No one really knows what to expect, the dangers of it, does it affect your warranty, all those questions, all right? So that is kind of why I got the Supercharger. And another thing I always say is that we see videos of the Supercharger all over the place doing 0 to 60, you know, all that kind of stuff. Basically, one-day ownership of it. With me on my channel, I do a daily driving test, long-term, with the Magnuson Supercharger. What happens a year later? What happens 2 years later? Is there any check engine light? Is it annoying to drive with every day? All of those questions I hope to answer for you, but today we will go over all of that so far within the first 6 months of owning this thing. So let's get started on this list. Like I said, no particular order, so if you hear something you like or something you want to comment on, pause the video, comment below, and I will do my best to get to everyone, as I always do. All right, the first thing I have on this list is the Supercharger is fun, but not annoying. You can live with this every day. Now, what I mean by that is, again, there is no information out there like the stuff that I try to give you guys. So when I first put the Supercharger in, I thought the truck would be too jumpy all the time. It wouldn't be good in an everyday situation, just like driving to work, stuck in traffic, all that kind of thing. Would the whine get annoying from the Supercharger? The Supercharger whine does not get annoying at all. At least in my opinion. It's there. It's not there all the time. It's really when, if you're coming up to speed off of a traffic light, you hear it a little bit while you get up to speed, but it's really not as bad as I thought it might be. Again, that's what we're tackling with this review and with this interval testing long term. Number 2 is makes the truck feel lighter and less restrictive. Now, what I mean by that is, you guys, obviously you're a Tundra owner, so you have the 5.7 engine. Sometimes to me the 5.7 engine, non-supercharged, kind of feels like the truck's a little bit heavy. All right, well, that Supercharger takes that all away. It feels very springy, light on its feet. It's like a different truck. Now, I've owned 5 Tundras. This is the first Tundra I've had a Supercharger in. So 4 Tundras with the naturally aspirated 5.7 liter engine. And I love that engine to death. Anyone who watches my channel for a long time knows I love that engine. But man, that Supercharger really just makes the truck feel ready to go, more alive. It's an amazing feeling if you've never driven one. If you have any friends that have a Supercharger, make sure you get a little ride in it and you'll know exactly how I feel. The next one I have on here is look and sound. When you pop the hood for anyone, they see that thing, first words out of their mouth is, whoa, because it's just a unique look. It looks awesome. You tell them you got a Supercharger, half the population out there doesn't know what a Supercharger is, so it's really funny to see people's, see what they think when you pop the hood. But yeah, it looks good, and again, the sound, dude, I can't get enough of that Supercharger whine. I love the fact that there's always power available. That's kind of my big thing too. It's not just, you know, you get up to speed really fast and then there's nothing. It's, you could be at 60 miles an hour and you want to get to 70 and it'll take you there really, really quick. The next one is you get what you paid for. And I mean that in a positive way. These things aren't cheap. They're like $6,000. So you pay $6 grand, you get a nice quality product from Magnuson. I'm very impressed with their workmanship on it. I'm very impressed with the way they talk about it. So when you talk to the boys and girls from Magnuson, they're behind their product. They trust their product. Now, I love that. There are some companies out there, when you talk to them about their product, they're like, well, you should be okay. No, the Magnuson boys and girls are like, no, it'll work. You're fine. I love that when they have that backing behind their product. And I'm telling you, so far, so good. No issues. Big high five to the Magnuson team. Again, I kind of just said this, but the price is a bit high, but Tundra 234 promo code, do it. Here's one. Okay, this is more of a tougher thing to do, that you got to take your time, do it right, don't rush through this. Finding an installer, but finding a reputable installer and getting a fair cost. All right, there is no set in stone thing out there that says, oh, you want a supercharger installed? It costs this much money. That's the hard part. I know a lot of you guys go through this. I talk to you about this all the time. Finding a good installer that knows what they're doing. Take your time. Do it right. You know what? You may have to go out of your area, wherever you live. You may have to go 2 hours away to get a good installer. But trust me, for the long-term happiness and the, just the overall working condition of your vehicle, you're going to want that installer to be awesome. That has 10, 20 supercharger installs under his belt where he could just go through it no problem. You want that attention to detail type mechanic. I personally went to Gall Toyota. Adam, who's the master tech there, he did it for me. He did a great job. Thank you again, Adam. But that is probably the most important thing on all of this. Don't just have anybody put it in. Here's another one. This is funny. The supercharger makes it hard to drive other vehicles. And I know that might sound a little, oh, come on. No, but really, when you drive a supercharged vehicle day in, day out, when you get in something else, it just doesn't have that punch. When I drove the Camry XS EV6, that kind of had its own spirit, if you will. It was a fun car, but nothing gives you that instant power when you want it like a supercharged motor in this Tundra. And I also am a big sound guy. I like to hear the exhaust. I like to hear the supercharger. I don't like when things are too quiet. So once you drive a supercharged vehicle day in, day out for a little while, you're going to get really used to it. So heads up on that. Here's another one I wrote. Power when you want it, not intrusive. That is another big one on this list here. Again, when I first got the supercharger, I didn't really know what I was getting into. Again, why I got the supercharger for you guys for the channel. I thought it might be something that gets annoying after a while. It's kind of like we talked about with the tow haul mode button. If you leave the tow haul mode button on all the time, that can get a little old, because when you put your foot on the gas pedal, the truck is kind of lungy, right? It kind of jumps in first gear a little bit. That is not the case with the supercharger. You wouldn't even know the supercharger was there if you didn't want to. Other than you might get a little bit of whine getting up to speed, but it totally drives like a normal truck until you don't want it to. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. That's exactly what it's like. But it's not intrusive at all. Again, it's there when you need it. In my 6 months of ownership, I only had one issue, and it was right off the bat. I got a check engine light. Turned out to be a loose connection. So that was that. No big deal. One under the hood. Good thing is the Bully Dog tuner comes with the Magnuson Supercharger in most situations. It does on Sparks parts, so check that out. There's a drop-down box to pick what you want. Bully Dog tuner, big fan of that. Was actually my next point on here, but we'll go to that in a minute. I love the fact that when my check engine light came on, I plugged in my Bully Dog tuner to my OBD port, and it told me what it was for, okay? And all I did was go under the hood, and I checked all of the connections to make sure we were good. And what did I find? A loose one. I basically just went up and made sure everything was together and clipped one together. No more check engine light. You could also clear your check engine light with the Bully Dog tuner, which is a good thing. And right to my next one, Bully Dog tuner is user-friendly. I was afraid when I got this tuner, I have no idea what I was doing. It has a lot of different things you could do on it. You could do performance testing. Again, you could see what your check engine lights are for. There's different tunes on it. Even though, just heads up, Magnuson suggests one specific tune on there, but there are other tunes. But yeah, the Bully Dog tuner is very user-friendly. So if you don't have it and you're worried about it, don't worry about it. It's pretty simple. You could just go through all the lists and see everything you want to do with it. Not that hard. Definitely recommend it. So now to my last 2 points. After 6 months of ownership, would I do a supercharger again? Yes. Yes, I would. 100%. It is worth every penny. It is expensive, but worth every penny. And I must say, without a shadow of a doubt, of 5 Tundras, of all the other vehicles I've owned, everything, the Supercharger is the best upgrade I've ever done, bar none. Okay? I know it's a lot of money, but put it on the truck, and you got instant results. It wasn't one of those things that, hey, I put a cold air intake in and I'm going to get 20 more horsepower. No. The cold air intake is a maybe. A lot of it, they fluff up the numbers a little bit. This supercharger, it's an instant 150 horsepower, 150 torque, whatever it is. It's a lot. You feel it right away. Changes all the dynamics of the truck when it comes to putting your foot on that pedal. And once again, as a 5-time Tundra owner, 5.7 liter, naturally aspirated, I-Force V8 engine, I strongly recommend this part. And that is not for any other reason than the joy I've had in the last 6 months with it. That is my list, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be afraid to tell me what you think. It is a costly part. It definitely is a costly part. But again, the promo code TundraDude34 at Sparks Parts can save you some coin. If I can help in any way, shape, or form, comment below the video. Hit me on Twitter and Instagram or TundraDude34@gmail.com. I look forward to helping. And if not, sales@sparksparts.com is the email address. They're here for you too. You guys have a great day. Go into the weekend dreaming about a supercharger in your Tundra.